For those who want to know everything about Pacific Rim 3 and are wondering if the Savage movie reprising for the third time, stay with us to discover more about this topic.
Advance and fire everything you've got!
While the first and the second part left us speechless, we can only hope for the same thrill and excitement when it comes to part 3, so stay with us and find out. Pacific Rim 3 is about to change everything. If you are someone who loves science fiction stories and enjoys watching that type of movie, and if you are someone who has a huge curiosity for the unknown, then this is the right place for you. In addition, if you are wondering why we are mentioning this, it is because here we have the latest news about the most awaited Pacific Rim 3 and everything that you would want to know about this topic. We can freely say that it has been 3 years since the second release of Pacific Rim happened, and everyone is still waiting for the official announcement of the long-awaited Pacific Rim 3. The biggest fans, as well as the whole audience, including those who are not into the movie but still want to stay tuned, are also eager to watch the Pacific Rim 3, and that's because of one reason. The story of the movie didn't end ultimately, and it hints at a final release. The first film of the Pacific Rim franchise happened in 2013, a sci-fi plot based on the unique idea of giant robots. The sequel to this, Pacific Rim Uprising,
join the Jaeger uprising.
happened in 2018, and we must admit that this time it was released with way more powerful visuals than the previous movie. So if you were wondering, will the fans finally get a Pacific Rim 3? It seems as though, after the whole 3 years of the second installment, the director, whose name is Guillermo del Toro, has no current plans for the long-awaited Pacific Rim 3. Many would ask themselves, what's the reason behind this?
And we gave it the anatomy of a big cowboy. I wanted the majesty of a tanker.
Well, there can be many motives for that. One of those reasons could be the second part of the film gained combined reviews from the people who watched it, which made the creators take a step back and reconsider their ideas and vision connected to the movies, because it is an enormous budget film that we are talking here after all. The first film gained huge attention, and people fell in love with it instantly. But what was actually weird, the second movie did not bring the wanted and expected results. So due to that, the creators of the movie have said that presently, they want to take a little break from it in order to find out what the best step is that they should take. And with that, as we already said, there are no plans for Pacific Rim 3 for now. The popular director Stephen S. DeKnight, also known as Del Toro, presented the incredible concept of Jaegers on screen. The fans were so in love with it. The story of the huge war with the giant robots is action-oriented and leaves all of us amazed, isn't it so? Of course, it is more than obvious that Pacific Rim is not completely concluded. The latest installment has left some things unclear, though Pacific Rim 3 may continue its path in a unlike medium. On top of that, the films themselves show a lot of stories to tell, so we should not expect an end to this movie at all. However, after some research, it is obvious that this storyline may not be the real reason for Pacific Rim 3's huge delay. In fact, there have been many behind-the-scene obstacles that can be the actual reason for the situation. As we already mentioned, we are here talking about an enormous budget project, so they take all the inputs and outcomes into consideration. And that's not a surprise due to their importance. Even though for many it is not a big deal, this is for sure discouraging for the Pacific Rim's loyal fans, especially because it has so much to reveal with its sci-fi story inside its very own world. Even though the creators hinted at a threequel, when it is going to be revealed remains unsolved mystery. When talking about the plot of Pacific Rim 3, we can say that during the months when the second movie was released, the director Del Toro told a few story ideas for the Pacific Rim 3, but that didn't say anything particular due to its release and when it is officially going to happen. Nevertheless, his late statements left the world in question. The movie is still not in development, and due to that, there are no official announcements for the plot. However, there are two probable plot lines that are currently accessible. One of the plot lines of Pacific Rim 3 is the following: Into the Breach, possibly set in the 2040s. The Jaegers and the Earth's forces are probably going to open up a split into the world of Kaiju and visit there to catch the prosecutors and prevent them to find a way to overpower Earth. How exciting is this, guys? It sounds so good. If this is the actual plot of the movie, we can't wait to see how it is going to look on the big screen. But as we mentioned before, this is only a possible story. There is also another plotline that features the fusion of Pacific Rim 3 and the Monsterverse, typically Godzilla and the Kong. But due to some information, the director stated that this idea is not that suitable for the upcoming movie, and that's simply because he wants it to be in a different way. Who knows, maybe he is going to change his mind until they officially start with the planning and the arrangements, and of course, in the end, the most important part, its release. So, in the conclusion, we can say that while Del Toro claimed earlier that if the second movie would bring the wanted results, in that case, they would make Pacific Rim 3. With a statement he made in January 2021, there is no plan for doing that right now, due to the split comments and thoughts after the release of the second movie. Even though this is quite disappointing information for all of the supportive and loyal fans, and not only for them, but for all of us as well, we can for sure agree that there is way more to tell for the story to resume, due to the fact that the second part of the movie has a lot of cliffhangers, and with that, it made space for Pacific Rim 3. But nevertheless, we should not lose hope because we all know that everything is possible in the movie and entertainment industry. We should only be patient and wait for the announcement for Pacific Rim 3, and eventually it will happen. On top of that, we are sure that you could want to find out what is intended for the most favored character, and that's the one and only Mako Mori, right? However, prior to that, the creators have some plans to first release the anime version of Pacific Rim, The Black.
Never thought we'd come back here after.
All of that around the earlier months of the actual coming year on Netflix, and it is going to be spread upon the two films. Therefore, we should not lose hope at all, because the awaited success of these anime series might lead to Pacific Rim 3. Nothing is impossible, and literally anything can happen anytime. So with that said, we can only pray for the makers to change their minds. So please, tell us your opinion. Do you also think Pacific Rim 3 must happen for the plot to actually complete? Or you may be satisfied with these two movies? Please write that in the comment section below. We would love to know your opinion on this topic. On a related note, we wanted to know which part was your favorite one from our video. You can tell us in the comment section below. We would love to know. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.